A shiver went through me then. From now on I'm going to start acting like it. It's about time you did. Neither of us slept that night. 3. My knitting had improved. I unraveled the first scarf and reknitted it, making it bigger, warmer. But then Mia sent me a video. In the clip, Holden was in Monaco after a meeting at his private villa. He was walking under a black umbrella as it poured. He passed Sophia. Since being blacklisted, she had nowhere to go. She couldn't even make rent. Soaked to the bone, her purple dress clung to her curves. She looked up at him, her eyes brimming with tears, her voice trembling in the wind. Holden hesitated for a fraction of a second. Then he walked right past her, without a backward glance. Holden, have you forgotten everything we had? She cried out after him, her voice desperate. He never turned around. I breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed to mute his place, but I had underestimated Sophia's persistence. The storm raged all night, and she stood outside his villa all night, until she finally collapsed. A black umbrella appeared in my line of sight on the screen. Sophia forced her eyes open, looking up at the man holding it. Holden was perfectly dry, his chiseled face unreadable, but the umbrella was tilted ever so slightly in her direction. Next day, Holden flew back to New York as planned, but he gave Sophia the villa in Monaco. Chloe, what does this mean? Mia fretted. Holden only ever spends money on his women. I thought for a moment, if he sees me as his wife, then I'll act like one. That same day, Sophia was evicted from the villa, and for the first time since our wedding, Holden missed one of our nights. I called him a dozen times. He didn't pick up. He came home the next day looking exhausted. His eyes bloodshot. Did you have her thrown out? I didn't flinch. Yes. Who gave you permission to be so unreasonable? The accusation in his tone stunned me. I looked up. Are you saying that as your wife, I'm supposed to tolerate your ex-girlfriend living in our property? Holden didn't answer. He just scowled and tossed his phone at me. A video playing on the screen. In it, Sophia was being dragged into an alley by a group of men, her purple dress torn to shreds. Holden's voice trembled with rage. If I hadn't gotten there in time, she would have been violated. I stared coldly at the screen. What do you want me to do? Go to the hospital, apologize to her? Holden, I pushed the phone back at him. I will not apologize to the other woman. That other woman? A cruel, unfamiliar sneer twisted his lips. If we're getting technical about it, are you that other woman? The air left my lungs. He didn't see my shock. He just turned and walked away. For the first time ever, he slammed the door. I sat all day alone on the sofa until the dead of night, my phone buzzing with messages from friends. Chloe, what's going on? Why did Holden drop everything to sit by some other woman's hospital bed? They're saying she's his first love. That's not true, is it? Chloe, get to the hospital. You're about to lose your husband. I didn't reply to any of them. Instead, I packed my bags. When Holden came home 3 days later, he saw my suitcase and let out a short, humorless laugh. What's this running away from home? I handed him the divorce papers. It's over. You can keep the settlement. The teacup in his hand frowned midway to his lips. He scanned the agreement page by page, his expression grim. His hands were trembling slightly. Divorce me? Who's going to give you that kind of money? Thank you for your concern, Mr. Blackwood. I won't starve. He hesitated. Fine, we can get a divorce, but you have to return every penny I ever spent on you. I frowned. After 5 years as a stand-in, I'd earned a lot, but I'd also spent a fair bit. Seeing my hesitation, a flicker of relief crossed his face. Can pay it back, that's fine. Just as long as you don't, I can. He stared at me. I've always been insecure about money. No matter how much I never spent lavishly, even with a 9-figure bank balance. My idea of a feast when Holden was out of town was still raw then, with a couple of eggs. Over 5 years, I made hundreds of millions, but I'd only spent 2. I handed him my bank card. Then I reached up and unclasped the $200,000 earrings from my ears, the ones that would just about cover what I'd spent. I won these from Sophia in a bet. Technically they're mine here now, we're even. I took his hand and placed the earrings in his palm. As I turned to leave, he dropped them with a clatter and grabbed my wrist. Don't go, I didn't really mean it. The famously eloquent Holden Blackwood was suddenly at a loss for words. Holden, let me go. I snapped, turning back, but the words died in my throat. Single tear hit the back of my hand. I stared at him, incredulous. Are you crying? I'm sorry, he whispered, his eyes red. Don't do this to me. I never seen a man like him cry. If a photographer caught this, Blackwood, industry stock would plummet. So I set her day down and I listened. It turned out he hadn't been at the hospital for days. Kate asked his friends to send me those messages to provoke me. He thought I had been the one who arranged for those men to attack Sophia. He couldn't accept me doing something so vile. Fucking her out was one thing, but hiring thugs to violate a woman was something else entirely. He had put her in the hospital and visited her frequently, only to ensure she wouldn't press charges against me. Calling you the other woman. I was angry. I'm so sorry, he pleaded, his eyes swimming. I was silent for a long time. Holden, you really hurt me this time. A flash of pain crossed his face. I'll give you one more chance. His eyes lit up. I want you to cut off all contact with Sophia. Send her away, far, far away, okay? He squeezed my hand, clutching it like a lifeline. I promise. 5. Holden was a man of his word. The next day, Sophia was on a flight out of the country. Her destination, the same place. Her broke ex-boyfriend was currently backpacking. Holden seemed consumed with guilt over hurting me. His right-hand man secretly tipped me off. At this weekend's press conference, Holden was going to officially announce his wife to the world. We had a secret marriage as his canary in a gilded cage. I never had a problem with it, but now I found myself looking forward to the announcement with a giddy anticipation. He was more passionate than ever. During our nights that week afterwards, he'd hold me tight. There's a press conference this weekend, he murmured. I want you to come with me. I smiled, pretending not to know. Okay, that weekend, I arrived as planned. Holden's assistant personally led me to a seat in the front row, right where the spotlight would hit. The entire room was a sea of flashing cameras and reporters holding microphones like weapons. Everyone was desperate to know who the woman Holden Blackwood had hidden away for all these years really was. The assistant handed me a bouquet of roses, my favorite Bulgarian reds, their petals still jeweled with morning dew. They must have been flown in. Amidst the buzzing anticipation, Holden finally made his entrance. I watched from my seat as his eyes found mine. Across the room, a slow, intimate smile spread across his face. He held my gaze as he brought the microphone to his lips. The woman I'm about to introduce, he began, his voice echoing through the hall, is a girl I fell in love with at first sight. Back in high school. Love at first sight. I blinked, confused. Curtains behind him swept open. The roses were gently taken from my hands and passed to another woman. She was my first love, Sophia. The room erupted in a roar of camera shutters. I sat at a frown, seeing the empty space where the roses had been, burning like a brand on my palms. Sophia stood behind Holden, her hair styled in loose waves, wearing a cream-colored gown that hugged her curves. My gown, the one I picked out for the press conference, lying in the dressing room this morning. She met my eyes across the room, a triumphant smirk playing on her lips as she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, revealing the butterfly tattoo on her neck. My tattoo, the one I endured 10 hours of pain for, the one Holden had told me to remove. Holden's hand rested on Sophia's waist, his thumb brushing her hip in a gesture so intimate it made my stomach churn. We've been through a lot, he said, his voice warm and tender, nothing like the cold, clipped tone he'd used with me just days before. Misunderstandings, distance. True love always finds its way back. Reporters shouted questions, their voices overlapping in a chaotic din. And Mr. Blackwood, when did you rekindle your relationship with MS? Sophia, what about your wife? Are you divorcing her? Is it true she was just a stand-in?